Still world we are sitting. Morning while chanting also, it's a big opulence to be sitting in such a open place, and you have this what you call acrylic acrylic cutouts. Very very beautiful. Like very fortunate. Who all devotees stay here? Yeah, many of you stay here. Hare. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोद यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीराचारी यमुना हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल की, हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की, श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, श्री श्री राधा माधव भगवान की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धरस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष न्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्युषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, ninth chapter, 24th verse. 24th verse. 1-9-24. सदेव देवो भगवान् प्रतीक्षताम् कलेवरं यावदिदं हिनोम्यहम्। प्रसन्नहासारुणलोचनालसन् मुखाम्भुजो ध्यानपथश्चतुर्भुजा सदेव देवो भगवान् प्रतीक्षताम् कलेवरं यावदिदं हिनोम्यहम् प्रसन्नः लोचनोल्लसन् मुखाम्बुजो ध्यानपथश्चतुर्भुजा Devotees can recite. कलेवरं यावदिदं प्रसन्नः सदेव देवो भगवान् प्रतीक्षताम् कलेवरं यावदिदं विनोम्यहम् प्रसन्नः सारुणलोचनोल्लसन् मुखाम्बुजस्नान तदेव देवो भगवान् प्रतीक्षताम् कलेवरं यावदिदं हिनोम्यहम् प्रसन्नः मुखाम्बुजोर्ध्यानपथस्य Sah, he, Deva Deva, the Supreme Lord of the Lords, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Pratikshatam, may kindly wait, Kalevaram, body, Yavat, as long as, Idam, this material body, Hinomi, may quit, Aham, I, Prasanna, cheerful, Hasa, smiling, Aruna Lochana, eyes red like the morning sun, Ullasat, beautifully decorated, Mukhambuja, the lotus flower of his face, Dhyanapatha, in the path of my meditation, Chaturbhuja, the four-handed form of Narayana, the worshipable deity of Bhishmadev. May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face with eyes as red as the rising sun is smiling, kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body. Purport. Bhishmadev knew well that Lord Krishna is the original Narayana. His worshipable deity was four-handed Narayana, but he knew that four-handed Narayana is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. Indirectly, he desired Lord Sri Krishna to manifest himself in his four-handed feature of Narayana. A Vaishnava is always humble in his behavior. Although it was cent% certain that Bhishma Dev was approaching Vaikuntha Dham just after leaving his material body, still as a humble Vaishnava, he desired to see the beautiful face of the Lord, for after quitting the present body, he might not be in a position to see the Lord anymore. A Vaishnava is not puffed up. Although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his abode, here Bhishma Dev says, as long as I do not quit this body, this means that the great general would quit the body by his own will. He was not being forced by the laws of nature. He was so powerful that he could stay in his body as long as he desired. He got this benediction from his father. He desired that the Lord stay before him in his four-handed Narayan feature, so that he might concentrate upon him and thus be in trance in that meditation. Then his mind might be sanctified with thinking of the Lord. Thus he did not mind wherever he might go. A pure devotee is never very anxious to go back to kingdom of God. He entirely depends on the goodwill of the Lord. He is equally satisfied even if the Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention while thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, regardless. Regardless. Bhishma Dev wanted this much only, and his mind be absorbed in thinking of the Lord and that he pass away thus. That is the highest ambition of a pure devotee. It's a beautiful section of passing away of Bhishma Dev. So, so we all know the context of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam first canto. That Suta Goswami and Naimisharanya sages, they are conversing, and there are certain questions which were put by Naimisharanya sages, and they were asking where was Bhagavatam compiled and who spoke it, to whom did they speak. So a lot of questions about the compilation of Bhagavatam, the speaker of Bhagavatam, the hearer of Bhagavatam were asked by Naimisharanya sages to Suta Goswami. In reply to which Suta Goswami starts speaking. Initially he spoke, for 3 chapters he spoke Vyasa and Narada Samvad to give the context of from where Bhagavatam's compilation came. So 4th, 5th, 6th chapter he speaks about Vyasa and Narada Samvad. That how did Vyasdev get this inspiration to write and compile Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Then from 7th chapter onwards, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, these all chapters are being spoken in the context of the hearer of Bhagavatam. Who is the hearer of Bhagavatam? Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj, so any person is known by 3 things: how his birth happens, what are his activities, and how he departs from this world. So all these 3 things are mentioned in Parikshit's case. So to explain Parikshit's birth, the 7th chapter comes where Uttara is Parikshit is in the womb of Uttara, and who is Ashwathama. He threw that Brahmastra. So when that chapter happened, then suddenly Shukdev Goswami is going into remembrance that okay, then Krishna saved Parikshit in the womb. So after Krishna saved Parikshit in the womb, then Yudhishthir and others they make Krishna stay back. Before that, Kunti Maharani's prayers come. So then the chapter of Kunti's prayers come. And then Yudhishthir tells to stay back. And then Krishna is now taking all of them to Bhishma Dev. The departure of Bhishma Dev is also coming. And after this chapter of departure of Bhishma Dev, then Krishna will depart from Hastinapur. So departure for Dwarka chapter is. And then Krishna will enter into Dwaraka. So arrival, welcome of. So one chapter of farewell and one chapter of welcoming of Lord. And then the 12th chapter will again come of birth of Emperor Parikshit. So Shukdev Goswami had to speak birth of Emperor Parikshit, but to build the topic of birth of Emperor Parikshit, he spoke 7 chapter, 8 chapter, 9 chapter, 10 chapter, 11, 5 chapters he spoke to bring to the stage of birth of the Emperor Parikshit. And after birth, then there is how Parikshit becomes the king. So how Parikshit becomes the king? That is, Dhritarashtra quits home, and then after Dhritarashtra quits home, Krishna's departure happens. Then Arjuna comes back to Hastinapur, and Yudhishthira is asking a lot of questions that did you do something wrong in this way or in this way, in this way, in this way? And finally, Yudhishthir comes to conclusion that if this is all not correct, then the only reason for Arjuna's despondency is that Krishna must have departed from this world. And when Arjuna says yes, he has departed, then Yudhishthir takes out his crown, keeps it down, and he starts to walk. And that is the chapter of Pandavas retire timely. So that is 15th chapter. So after 15th chapter of Pandavas retiring, so why these chapters are spoken 13, 14, 15? To bring to the point of how Parikshit became the emperor. So this is, and now Parikshit has become the emperor, and now Parikshit's prime activity, what Parikshit performed was he stopped Kali from creating disturbance. So then Parikshit receiving Kali, Parikshit's reward and punishment to Kali, and all those chapters of Parikshit, and that is mentioned. And then Shringi will curse Parikshit. Why? Because that is going to be the departure pastime of Parikshit Maharaj. So this whole chapters are being spoken for Parikshit Maharaj. And after this last few chapters about Shukdev Goswami, how Shukadev comes and how Shukadev actually comes and he narrates Bhagavatam, those are there mentioned in the last chapters of first canto. So Shukadev Goswami, the speaker of Bhagavatam, has not spoken one verse also in first canto. So his words will start from second canto of Bhagavatam. So so we are here at this Bhishma Dev's departure when Krishna is taking. It is very, very interesting. We can learn a lot from Bhishma Dev. So in the purport, Prabhupada is stressing on two things. He says he says that a Vaishnava is very humble. He doesn't think that he's going to go back to Godhead. He doesn't think that I have practiced so much bhakti, so I am guaranteed to go back to Godhead. He is very, very humble to think that whatever Krishna wills, whatever Krishna desires, let that happen. And this is a very characteristic feature of any Vaishnava's prayers. In fact, it is very interesting that here Bhishma's departure is being talked, and Bhishma is saying that, "My dear Lord, please give me darshan till the time at least I leave this body." And Prabhupada is explaining. I was thinking that why is Bhishma saying like that? I couldn't understand. When I read Prabhupada's purport, then I understood that Bhishma means to say that I don't know when I will again see you. So till the time I am alive and you are there right in front of me, let me constantly be seeing at you, seeing you. Because after I leave, I don't know which species I will go, where I will go, whether I will get your darshan, whether. So when we are getting opportunity to take darshan of Lord every day, honor Mahaprasadam every day, be in association of devotees every day. So there are two simultaneous kind of attitudes which a devotee can cultivate, which are very healthy. So one time Govind Pru, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, very senior disciple. So he was saying that whenever you are in devotees association, you should think that this is the first day, like this is my first day in devotional service. Sometimes, how many of you have observed that the initial days of Krishna consciousness, our enthusiasm, our innocence, our eagerness to hear and to our eagerness to learn, to seek, that was very, very high. How many of you have observed this? And as we progress ahead, then these things we become familiar with the practices of bhakti, so it comes down. So one attitude is that in fact, on the first day of our bhakti, we will never think of judging any Vaishnava. We will never think of taking things cheaply. It is like like even some devotee, if he would have given little some Mishri Prasad also, that also we will take as if like like when new people come, they are so careful in taking prasad. And after spending some time in, some years in spiritual life, we get आज स्वीट नहीं बना। अरे ये क्या बना है, ये मुझे पता है, ये इन लोग को उपमा बनाना नहीं आता है, इन लोग को ये बनाना नहीं आता है। ये क्या, ये सांबर है ये, दिस इज सिंपली सम दाल इन विच दे हैव पुट सम सांबर मसाला. So we tend to take things for granted. So it's always good to consider that actually I am a very new devotee. I'm This is my first day in Krishna consciousness. But there is one more attitude which should there be simultaneously, and that is that this may be the last day of my Krishna consciousness. This may be the last day in association of devotees, because we all have experienced that when we have only the last day remaining before exam, we we become superhumanly empowered to study and memorize and do whatever we could not do in last 6 months also. So a devotee should cultivate. So that is why our philosophy is Achintya Bhedavet. How can now? Don't ask me this question, that how can we think both things simultaneously? It's possible. So wherever we are in touch with um, devotional items, devotional activities, devotional services, we should consider that I'm actually a very new person. I what bhakti has so much depth. I'm not. What do I know properly? But simultaneously, we should have this attitude of this this opportunity which I have. I don't know till when I will have this. So so Bhishma Dev is feeling like that, and you can observe this feeling of Bhishma Dev of I don't know in my future birth where I will go and what will happen. Even in Parikshit's prayers, पुनश्च भूयात् भगवती अनंत रतिम स्वेषु सुयाम्याम उपयामि सृष्टिम मैत्री namo dvijebhya. So Parikshit is not saying that I'm a pure devotee who took darshan of Lord right in the womb of my mother, and Krishna had protected me from Brahmastra before my birth also. So what to speak of going back to Godhead? It is like I'm just going to go just like that. So Parikshit is not feeling like that. He's saying, if I have to take another birth, please, my dear Lord, give me three things. What three things he's asking? Punascha Bhuyat Bhagavati Anand. Let me have bhakti for Krishna, and let me have friendship with living entities, compassion towards living entities, and let me have very, very, very strong bonds with Vaishnavas. Yeah, Ratim Prasanga Tadashreshu. Those who have taken your shelter, let me be able to be in their association, hear and chant in their association. So these three these three prayers of Parikshit are the essential things offered in Gaudiya Parampara also. Namaruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and Jivadaya. This is the same thing. Namaruchi means attachment with Lord, and Vaishnav Seva, attachment to Vaishnavas, and compassion for living entities. Parikshit is also asking the same things. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, when he comes as devotee, he is saying that न धनं न जनं न सुंदरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वर्य. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not saying that this is I just came for one birth appearance. He is saying that mama janmani janmanishwar, birth after birth ahaitu ki bhakti let me get. So even Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his prayer he sings that ahetu ki bhakti jage anukshane. So you will observe this a very constant theme in the prayers of all Vaishnavas, that they will say that if I have next birth, then please give me, like he says na kita janma. Oh, yeah, yeah, very beautiful song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is there. So that is, you can see in all Vaishnavas. That is one point which Prabhupada was stressing about humility of Vaishnava. And then Prabhupada says, a Vaishnava is not puffed up, although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his. Yesterday, I think I saw on status of Shiv Kumar Krishna Guru, something he had put on this, that some quotation he quoted from where it was, that Varaha Puran. That Lord is saying that if devotee does not remember me at the end of life, then I will remember him and take him back to God. So Lord, from his side, he is giving full guarantee. There is no doubt about it. But a devotee is very humble. And then another aspect, what is being spoken here is that he says, yeah, he entirely depends on the goodwill of the Lord. He's equally satisfied even if Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention while thinking of the lotus feet of Lord. So this rapt attention is actually absorption in Krishna. So this absorption of Krishna, Bhishma Dev is, as a Mahajan, he is exemplifying this absorption to the highest degree. Now all of us have experience of some suffering and some pain in our life. How many of you have experience of some suffering or pain in your life? One time Radhanath Maharaj asked like this, and there was one person who said that, Maharaj, I never, Swamiji, I never suffered in my life. Maharaj said that, are you really sure that you have never suffered in your life? Because see, birth, right? The first episode of our life is suffering only. It is birth only. He was so confident, or I think we should say overconfident. He said, I never suffered in my life. Maharaj said that, then you will. Then you will. And then his life took a U-turn. What all never happened to him? Accidents and this and that, and after few hours, a few years, when he met Gaurang Guru, he said that you should be very careful to speak in front of Radhanath Swami, because you speak something and then you are gone. I told that I never suffered, and Maharaj said, okay, then you will. And my whole life, it changed. It changed upside down. It changed. So, so all of us have experience of suffering. And how many of you have experienced that it is very difficult to focus on chanting, reading in during lot of pain or suffering? Like you have fever, or you have cough, you have cold. It becomes very difficult. Na? Now, in my childhood, one of the biggest fears of mine was injection. Like whenever I used to go to doctor, the first thing I would ask, you do whatever you want, but please don't give me injection. He would say, see, you have to eat so many medicines. I would say, no problem. But injection, I cannot take. Now also, slowly, by getting many injections, now I'm getting used to it. But but it is like very difficult. One needle also enters inside. Bhishma Dev is pierced. Not even one small inch of his body is remaining for one more arrow to go inside. That many arrows Arjuna had hit. Arjuna had completely pierced each and every pore of Bhishma Dev's body. And Bhishma Dev is not like, he's not a dead body, he's alive. And so it is so interesting that uh, Krishna made battlefield Bhagavad Gita class, and Bhishma Dev made battlefield Bhagavatam class. so, so Bhishma Dev is lying on the battlefield. Who will hear philosophy on battlefield? Why is Krishna teaching? Why is Krishna orchestrating Bhishma Dev's departure and his speaking Gita on battlefield? If you think that absorption in Krishna will come in the time of peace, when corporate life is going very smoothly, and when you are having, your family members are very happy with you, and you are having no issues in in life, when everything is going so well, your body is cooperating, you are in the best of your health, my dear sir, you are mistaken. It is absorption is not something which is going to be experienced when we are in comfort zone, when we are having everything perfectly going our way. The world is not designed to make you comfortable. The world is so designed to always remove you from your comfort zone and always shift you from your comfort zone and give you a chaotic environment. Can you think from scriptures one more personality who exemplified similar absorption in great pain on the battlefield, speaking excellent Bhagavatam class? Yeah. So you can see Vritrasura also exemplifies this absorption. So Vritrasura is, I think Vritrasura is speaking while his head is being cut by Indra, right? It was for so many years he cut that head, and so you can observe this. So Radhesham Prabhu had come to Varanasi in, I think, 2021 or 22. He had come and he spoke a lecture on developing absorption in Krishna. And then the first thing he spoke, that devotees think that absorption will come when you give me free time and when you give me so much time should be available for me, then I will sit like Prabhupada sat with 10 commentaries. So I'll sit with 10 commentaries around me, and then I have nothing else to do in life. I have nothing to worry, and then I sit with all scriptures around me. Then whole day I will study, and whole day I will take darshan of Lord, and whole day I will chant the holy names, and I will be completely absorbed in Krishna. This is never going to happen. This is, at least in ISKCON, this is not possible. This is not. In fact, if Krishna gives us like this opportunity, we may be in a illusion that there will be absorption, but actually absorption will not be there. So, so I wanted to just share three principles. I think we have 15 till 8:30 we can go, na? So we have 15 minutes. So I'll share just three principles to develop real absorption, which we can learn from Bhishma Dev. So the first principle is to have full conviction on Krishna's character and Krishna's personality by hearing from the great souls. When we hear from great souls, when we hear about Krishna, so this in you would have read in Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada talks about first level is Shravana Dasha. So Shravana Dasha, by regular constant hearing, we actually develop a great conviction on the personality of Krishna. And that, what is the meaning of conviction on personality of Krishna? The meaning of conviction on personality of Krishna is that we have no doubt that Krishna is all good, and whatever Krishna does is for welfare of all living entities. It is, even if Krishna wants to harm someone, it is not possible. Even if Krishna kills someone, that fellow will get liberated. Even if Krishna chastises someone, if great souls curse someone, even that person will get benefited. Krishna and Krishna's pure devotees' nature is such that whoever comes in contact with them, it only and only auspiciousness can come in their lives. There is nothing else possible with Krishna and Krishna's pure devotees. There cannot be a possibility that someone came in touch with Krishna and he lost, or it was a big, he became a loser. It was a big mistake that he came in touch with Krishna. It is never possible like that. Like Narad Muni cursed Nal Guver Mani Griv. What happened to them? They got they got Krishna in their lives. They got yeah, they got residence in Gokul. and they were witnessing Krishna's pastimes, childhood pastimes. They were witnessing, and in fact, when they were delivered, they sung a very beautiful prayer. Vani gunanu kathane shravanau kathayam hastau cha tava padayon. Very, very beautiful prayer. One of the most famous prayers of Nalkuver and Manipri. That basically the prayer is very similar to Ambarish Maharaj's life. Like we hear na Ambarish Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. So they are saying that with my Vani, let me do Gunanu Kathana of yours. With my hands, let me serve you. With my limbs of body, let me serve you. Like that they are saying. You know what position Krishna gave to Nalkuvir and Manigriv? What Nalkuvir and Manigriv became? So Nalkuver and Manigriv, obviously they went back to the heavenly abode from where they had come for the time being, for the time they were supposed to go. But eternally in spiritual world, Srila Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champu talks about two personalities, Snigdha and Madhukanta. So Snigdha is someone who, when who speaks, he is like very affectionate. Snigdha, his speech is, and Madhukanta is, his speech is very very sweet. So जिनका कंठ बहुत मीठा है, जिनका कंठ बहुत प्रेम निकलता है जिसके कंठ से. So so what is happening in Gopal Champu? Gopal Champu is a classic literature written by Jiva Goswami on 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So what he has done is, the pastime is happening in spiritual world. Which pastime? Snigdha and Madhukanta, they are two narrators of Krishna Lila. They are speakers of Krishna Lila. Like here Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, there Snigdha and Madhukanta are speaking. And the audience, who is the audience? It is happening in Nanda Bhavan, and the audience is Nanda, Yashoda, Krishna, Balaram, and all other Brajavasis. They all are sitting and hearing. And what are they narrating? They are narrating Krishna's pastimes of Bhaumya Vrindavan. How many of you understood this? So in the original spiritual world, they are narrating Bhaumya Vrindavan's pastimes, and it is like they're saying, so when Krishna was when 6 days old, then this demoness Putana came, and all past. So now you understood what Jiva Goswami has done. He has put a wrapper around 10th canto Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He has created it in such a manner that this 10th canto narration is happening in Nand Bhavan in spiritual world by Snigdha Madhukanta to all the Brajavasis. And this is not his imagination. This is reality. Because Snigdha and Madhukanta are none other than Nalakuver and Manigriv. They were given the position of narrators of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam of Krishna Lila in spiritual world. Why? Because they desired this Vani Gunanu Kathane Shravano Kathaya. And they were the original witness of Krishna Lila. They saw all the pastimes staying there. Now, if you read Gopal Champu, you'll be amazed. Like initially, first time when I read, I was not understanding what is happening, because what happens in that is there are two Krishnas: the Krishna who is hearing and the Krishna who is doing pastime. So you'll get confused. What is happening? Krishna is saying so. Krishna says, like, the pastime is being narrated, and then Krishna looks at Balram and he says to Balram, so thou here, you remember? So how I killed this fellow? And then thou here says, I also did this part, and then you did this part. And you are thinking like, what is that? So this is happening actually in spiritual world. You are able to understand? Krishna and Balram, they are conversing about what pastime they did. It is just like, I'll give you a very material, understandable example. It is just like sometimes on the release of a movie, the hero and heroine, they both go to the theater to watch that movie. The first show they will watch. So when they are sitting together, they are watching the movie, and in the movie, who is there? That same hero and heroine are doing pastime. time pass, right? It's time pass. And these two are doing here also another time pass, talking about, you remember that we had gone for shooting this song to Switzerland, we had gone for this song for this, and actually in this scene, this happened like this. So they are giving details there. Are you getting what is happening? So now tell me, is Nalkuer Grieves cursing, was it auspicious for them or inauspicious? Super auspicious. Even if Nalkuver Manigriv would have lived very pious lives in Mandakini Ganga and remained very, very faithful to Kuvera, never in their life would have it happened that they will become trees in Gokul, and then they will go to spiritual world and become reciters of Bhagavatam there and witness pastimes like this. So what Krishna does and why he does, that he only knows. And this is Bhishma Dev's teaching. Bhishma Dev is saying that you do not try to understand this fellow. It is impossible to understand. What is the fun of being God if he can be understood by everyone? There's no fun in that. God is going to be inconceivable. Jiva Goswami gives one of the proofs of God to be Achintya Shakti. That God has Achintya Shakti and he will remain Achintya for everyone. He cannot be fully understood. Nobody can, even God cannot understand himself fully. What to speak of we understanding him? It is not possible. So, so you can observe like this many pastimes. I'll share. I had written few examples here. So because you all know these pastimes, so I'll just take the names. Arey. Actually, internet was not there, so I sent to my, like, I just wrote in WhatsApp, but that is that has not come to my mobile. So so Draupadi's disrobing. So Draupadi's disrobing is such an episode. So you cannot imagine a more dreadful episode for a chaste lady like Draupadi, a pure devotee like Draupadi. But Draupadi's disrobing eventually led to the whole world learnt Sharanagati by Draupadi's disrobing. Otherwise, Draupadi's example would never have been given so specially. So when Krishna performs something, he does it to glorify his pure devotees. Like Prahlad Maharaj, what tribulations he underwent. If he would not have undergone those kind of tribulations, he would not have Mahavatar Narsimha and all this. Narsimha's incarnation only would not be there. What to speak of the movie Mahavatar Narsimha? Yeah. Narada's mother died. So when Narad Muni was small child and Bhaktivedanta had left, then his mother died. Because Narada's mother died, so Krishna took away the only shelter of Narad Muni, so that he becomes shelterless and he takes Krishna's shelter. And Narada took it in right sense, and then he eventually became the great Narad Muni. This was I heard from Radhika Vallabh. He said 16,100 uh, princesses were captured by Narakasura. When they were getting captured, they would have felt that as the most unwanted episode of their entire life. But because that happened, and Krishna came and he saved all of them, and because they said that we cannot go back to our homes, Krishna accepted all of them as their queens. Now, do you think if this episode would not have happened, Narkasura's kidnapping episode, would they all get Krishna as their husband? It's not possible. So, so in devotees' life, what Krishna arranges, what way Krishna is orchestrating their lives, whatever it may be, but we should have full conviction that Krishna's personality is all good. Whatever he may be doing, he may be arranging. If I take shelter of Krishna, then everything auspicious will. So this is the first step. in developing absorption. Full conviction about Krishna's all good character by hearing from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. After this comes the stage of seeing Krishna's hand in the nature and everywhere around us. What is the meaning of seeing Krishna's hand? You know, what is the first step of God realization? It is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, second canto. So, second canto, first chapter is first step of God realization. Second canto, second chapter is second step. Second canto, third chapter is third step. What is it? The personal understanding of God begins from Virata Purusha. And Virata Purusha is actually explained in the first chapter of second canto. So, what is this Virata Purusha? Virata Purusha means the whole material world is seen as Krishna's body. It is what is the meaning of mapping it to Krishna's body? It means that everything has connection with Krishna. Like you all can hear one lecture, very beautiful lecture. It is there on Radhesham Prabhu's website. Compassionate purpose of Krishna's creation. So in that, essentially what message is given in that is how Krishna has made this world in such a way that he fulfills our physical needs, he fulfills our emotional needs, he fulfills our intellectual needs, and he also fulfills our spiritual needs. Like for physical needs, he has given every living entity, he has arranged roti, kapada, makan. See, even a small bird, every insect, every animal, every reptile, every bird has their own way of making buildings. Like I heard that Prabhu and other devotees, the team, whole team, built this in almost how much? Within 1 year, na? Within 1 year they built it. So it's historical, like the way so beautifully they have made it. So they learned to build such buildings. Small bird knows how to make its nest. In ants know how to make their ant hill, and snakes know how to make their holes. Rats know how to make their holes. Every animal, even beavers, they make even dams also. They know how to make dams also. So everyone Krishna has endowed with the intelligence of how to arrange for your shelter. Every animal is endowed with how to get my food. So food, clothing, shelter is arranged for every living entity. And then Krishna has made beautiful family system. Family's culture he has made. He has given love in the heart of mother for child so that the child is taken care by mother. Mother and father take care of child. And then child gets gratitude, and then when he grows up, then he takes care of the old parents. So there's a mutual dependence which Krishna has created through family structure. And he also mind gets pleased with lot of lot of beautiful objects around us. So Krishna has created flowers, like you see sunflower. Sunflower does not have smell, but sunflower has beauty. So seeing the beauty of sunflower, honeybees and others, they come to suck honey, and when they sit on it, they don't get honey. So then they go to the next sunflower, and in that the pollen is transferred, and in that way the plants are getting grown. You are getting what I'm saying? So the way Krishna has arranged, Prabhupada says that Krishna has given special charm and beauty to young girls. Like, see, it is very interesting that Krishna and Radharani in spiritual world are ever fresh, ever young. Like they are exactly 15, 16 years old. You will observe that small children want to grow up and become that age. And when people become like adult, they want to become smaller and come to that age. So everyone wants to actually imitate Krishna. That is the ideal perfect age. That is only Krishna can stay there eternally. Nobody stays like that. so, so Krishna has created. So Prabhupada says that Krishna has given great beauty and charm in a youthful young girl, and in that it only stays for some time. I had two sisters. I can tell you with full guarantee that once that age crosses, once they cross 30 and that, then that charm and that beauty does not remain. But exactly at the right age, it is given. So that some man, he feels that I should give shelter and he gets attracted. So that way, the whole world is so beautifully designed. Emotional shelter is given. Lot of intellectual pleasure is also there. When you do coding and when there are zero bugs, zero errors, and your code runs and it is working perfectly, and so, yeah, and mathematics people get intellectual pleasure in maths, and there was one scientist, I think his name was QK. What is his name? Benzene jo Kekule. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda. So this Kekule, he was sleeping and he got a dream that a snake is moving in a way which he immediately got up and drew, and it was hexagonal, that planar structures of benzene ring. So these kind of inspirations Krishna gives, intellectual pleasure also Krishna gives, and spiritually also he has arranged. Krishna has made ISKCON for spiritual care. so so this should be seen. This is the meaning of seeing Krishna's hand and seeing Krishna behind in this material world. And the third thing which is required to get absorbed is accepting Krishna's will grateful. And that is what Bhishma Dev is actually doing. See, it is very interesting that the people who suffered the most. See, sometimes have you heard this narrative that so much नाइंसाफी has happened with Karna, बचपन में उसको छोड़ दिया गया, ऐसा कर दिया गया, वैसा हो गया. That is why he had no choice but he had to do like that. You have heard this? Karna के बाद they portray like that. ना. Think a moment, think for a moment, and Karna did Karna face more or Pandavas face? Pandavas had a widowed mother. Pandavas, we never hear that Karna from childhood was someone was trying to kill Karna, someone was trying to poison Karna, someone was trying to burn Karna. Uh, Karna's wife was disrobed in assembly. Karna's property was taken away. He was thrown to forest. Nothing happened. Happened to Karna? childhood mother left, and then those surrogate mother father, they picked him up. They gave him shelter. He grew with them, and only thing that he had this much great. He was supposed to be such a great prince, but he grew up in a very